Hey guys.
There's a lot of things happening today.
A lot.
Oh my goodness.
Busy news day.
A very busy day, especially with all the action from tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for Hero 11 News at noon. It's been a day of many of us have been keeping our eye on as we've learned who will be running for president this year. It's debate night.
Yeah, a lot's been building up to this moment, covering everything you need to know and what to watch for as you tune in just a few hours.
We will be all eyes and ears, but first let's get a look at our first alert weather.
You know what? Doesn't matter what the calendar says, still feels like summer outside. Temperatures warming well into the 70s right now, currently at 77 degrees, so warmer than we were at this time yesterday. We did make it into the 80s yesterday. However, different from yesterday, we are tracking some spotty showers which have developed in western and southwestern Minnesota. Most of us are just going to see some clouds increasing. I don't think this is going to hold together much longer. I want to zoom in a little closer. You can see some spotty showers just west of Wilmer along Highway 40 towards Appleton. Marshall seeing some spotty showers, and you can even see an isolated thunderstorm as well. But again, most of that activity is expected to gradually fade as it approaches central and east central Minnesota. That means for us, later this afternoon into the early evening hours, a couple of spotty showers or sprinkles. I think that's going to be about it. Right now we have the hazy filtered sunshine thanks to the wildfire smoke. That will be with us over the next few days. And notice temperatures will warm back into the 80s for the next several days. But we do expect cooler temperatures by the end of the week and additional rain chances by the weekend. We'll time that out for you with your full forecast coming up, Alexis.
Ben, thank you. Tonight, it's the big night. We're expecting all eyes to be glued onto the TV as former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris take the debate stage together for the first time. Cece, I know this past few days has been leading up to tonight. What can we be expecting from these candidates?
Yeah, you know, a lot riding on tonight, and tonight's debate is crucial for both candidates, especially since this is likely the only time the two will go head to head before that November election. So let's talk about what you can expect tonight if you tune in. The debate is happening at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. It'll be about 90 minutes long, and there will be no live audience. Candidates aren't allowed to bring pre-written notes with them on stage. And according to NBC News, candidates have 2 minutes to answer questions and to give rebuttals. But mics will be muted when it's not a candidate's turn to speak. This afternoon, the Secret Service has checks underway to make sure the debate site is secure for both candidates. Police are also bracing for some protests. Harris is in Philadelphia right now, and Trump is expected to get there later this afternoon. Both sides hoping to use tonight's debate to sway key undecided voters. Now, despite the burst of momentum behind Harris at the start of her campaign, polls show a tightening race, with voters in critical battleground states like Pennsylvania keeping a close eye on tonight's debate. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll look into how both candidates are prepping and give you a look at what issues may be mentioned tonight.
We know the stakes are definitely high tonight, but because both candidates will be speaking to millions of Gen Z viewers who are newly eligible to vote, how can both appeal to these voters on stage tonight?
Yeah, you know, both have a lot of ground to cover. An NBC News poll finds Harris has a significant lead over Trump among Gen Z. That poll found that half of Gen Z voters say they'll vote for Harris in November, while 1/3 say they'll vote for Trump. That poll also found that 3 in 10 voters under 30 see inflation and the cost of living as the most important problems facing the country right now. So it could be beneficial for both to address those issues tonight.
We'll keep our ears out for those issues. Cece, thank you. New details just in from Minneapolis police in just the last 2 hours. They're looking for the suspects behind a shooting in the Phillips neighborhood that sent one person to the hospital. Officers found the man early this morning with at least one life-threatening gunshot wound. He was walking in an alley on the 2400 block of Bloomington Avenue when he was shot. MPD says evidence of the crime included damage to buildings and cars in the area. Again, as of now, no one has been arrested. Well, just yesterday, Minneapolis city leaders approved extending the city's ShotSpotter contract for another 2 years. It follows a recent spike in violence. The gunfire detection technology tells dispatch where shots have been fired, allowing police squads to be sent for before a 911 call comes in. In the last few years, other cities got rid of their ShotSpotter, citing research that it disproportionately impacted communities of color. The Minneapolis Council will revisit the issue over the next 2-year contract. Right now, several defendants in the high-profile RICO case against alleged gang members in Minneapolis are in day 2 of their trial. Here's what makes this case different.
I'm Lou Raguse. U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar's strategy to take down Minneapolis street gangs using the RICO Act is being put to the test at the federal courthouse in St. Paul. 3 defendants are on trial right now in a case that covers 2 murders allegedly committed by members of the Minneapolis Bloods. The RICO Act was created to take down the mafia decades ago. This case is providing an inside look into how the Minneapolis Bloods allegedly operate in South Minneapolis, centered at George Floyd Square at 38th and Chicago. This trial could last as long as another 4 weeks.
This morning, the case surrounding the troubled Lowry Apartments in St. Paul was back in front of a judge. An emergency receivership of the building is expected to end today. It was put in place after Mayor Carter saw firsthand how bad living conditions were for residents living there. Crews have been cleaning up the foreclosed buildings for the past couple of weeks. And according to the Pioneer Press, Madison Equities no longer owns the building after it was sold at a sheriff's sale last week to the owner of the unpaid mortgage. The sporting goods store Scheels is now facing a lawsuit brought on by a Minnesota family. Morgan Wolf explains why they say the store is responsible for their son's death.
I'm Morgan Wolf. The mother of a 19-year-old that died by suicide in the Eden Prairie Scheels 2 years ago is suing the store and one of its employees for wrongful death. The suit alleges that the employee was negligent for not IDing the 19-year-old before placing a handgun in his hands at the store. The mother's attorney says that gun also did not have a trigger lock on it and that ammunition is, quote, easily accessible to customers and openly available. The age limit to buy a handgun in Minnesota is 21. Scheels did not have a comment on the lawsuit.
Today marks day 4 of a manhunt throughout Kentucky in search of an interstate shooting suspect. The suspect is accused of shooting at cars from a ledge over Interstate 75, hurting 5 people. Officials are warning people in the area to be careful because the suspect may be armed and dangerous.
Our goal is to apply steady pressure and wearing Mr. Couch down. Hopefully he has no water and nothing to eat, and just time that we will wear him down.
According to a warrant for the suspect's arrest, he's accused of texting a woman before the attack, saying he planned to, quote, kill a lot of people. Right now, there's a $15,000 reward for any information leading to his arrest. Right now, Tropical Storm Francine is moving toward the U.S., and by the time it hits land, it could be a Category 2 hurricane. Amy Kiley shows us how Gulf Coast states are preparing.
This is going to be a storm that could intensify.
Storm preparations are underway in Gulf Coast states today as Francine strengthens off the Texas shore. Forecasters say it's possible ocean temperatures could make it a Category 2 hurricane by its anticipated landfall tomorrow.
There's the warm water. This is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer than it should be this time of year.
Near Houston, the coastal city of Galveston is getting ready.
The loss of power is a very serious reality. We saw it during Hurricane Beryl. We're going to see it again. We don't know about Francine, but we'll have to wait and see.
Francine is expected to strike Louisiana directly.
We want everyone in the state to be cautious and vigilant.
These folks are making sure they have gas.
You may experience power outages, and then one of the things most concerning to us in GOSEP is generator safety.
Forecasters predict dangerous storm surge and flooding along the coast.
It is important that people adhere to the warnings that their local officials put out. By adhering to those warnings, then guess what? You end up saving lives as well.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And back at home, this is the final week for some communities in southern Minnesota to access federal disaster recovery centers. The centers opened up to help those areas bounce back from historic flooding. The location is in Freeborn and Nobles counties will close tomorrow. Several will remain open in Blue Earth County, Waterville, and in St. Louis County. Since those centers opened, more than $9.5 million in federal aid has gone to people impacted by the flooding. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill have just 3 weeks to avoid a potential government shutdown. Congress returned just yesterday after a 6-week summer recess, but funding for the year will run out by the end of this month. Without funding, federal agencies and national parks will likely shut down. Lawmakers are also expected to leave D.C. at the end of the month and are not expected to return until after the election. A stopgap bill will likely be needed to keep the government open until then. Well, tonight is your next chance to take home the Mega Millions jackpot. The jackpot is now worth $800 million, making it the 7th largest Mega Millions jackpot ever. That adds up to a nearly $402 million cash payout. The game's biggest win was $1.6 billion in August of last year. The drawing is tonight at 10.